Lottie's Rule, a twisted doll, horror story. The tag tied to her wrist read, Lottie, in faded brown ink, the kind that seeps into your bones if you stare too long. But in the back corner of Harrow's Antiques, wedged between a rusted carousel horse and a Victorian morning mirror, she was known by another name, the hollow-eyed girl. She sat propped against yellowing wallpaper, her porcelain skin cracked like dried riverbeds, her lace dress stiff with decades of dust. Her mouth was the kind of crooked that hinted at secrets, and one glass eye sparkled like new. The other, cloudy, dull, a swirling shadow within it, like smoke trapped behind the glass. Sometimes if you turned your head just right, it blinked. "She's special," the dealer had said, his voice raw as gravel, his fingers twitching as he wrapped her in newspaper. "But she comes with rules." He handed Eva a brittle slip of paper folded 3 times. "Never look into her left eye at midnight. If she whispers your name, don't answer. Never, ever let her touch your shadow." He looked Eva dead in the eyes. "Most don't make it past the second one." He didn't charge her. "She always finds her next home," he muttered and vanished into the dim back room. Eva Holloway wasn't the type to scare easily. A former crime reporter turned true crime podcaster, she had dissected serial killers with the same casual tone she used to order oat milk lattes. Harrow's Antiques was just another gimmick for her annual Halloween special. Haunted objects and urban legends. "Come on, folks," she laughed into her mic, holding Lottie up to the camera. "Creepy doll with rules. Vintage huckster shit. But hey, we all love a spooky story, right?" She plopped Lottie on the shelf above her workstation. The room dimmed as dusk settled. Bourbon flowed. Recording began. But during playback, her usual crisp narration was interrupted. Underneath her outro, hidden in static, a child's voice whispered, "Eva, play with me." Moxie, her grey tabby, hissed violently and leapt off the desk, her back arched and fur bristled. Eva rewound the clip. Static. Silence. Laughter. Then again, "Eva, play with me," she snorted. "Old Mike's picking up neighbor's baby monitor," she muttered, though the closest neighbor was 50 yards away. The next morning she found Lottie not on the shelf, but on the floor, facing her bed. Her dark eye seemed shinier, wetter. The air smelled faintly of rotting roses. Day 3 brought a flood of listener emails. Who's the little girl laughing in the background? Did you add those whispers on purpose? Super creepy. Your reflection blinked twice before you did. Cool edit. She hadn't added anything. And the reflection, that wasn't a trick of editing. She'd noticed it too. Her mirrored image turning its head a split second after she did. Her face frozen in a smile, while her real mouth twitched with confusion. When she looked away from her bedroom mirror that night, her shadow stretched oddly across the room. It pointed toward Lottie. Still, she pressed on, documenting everything for her next episode. Spirits, hoaxes, and mass hysteria. But the house wasn't right. Drafts came from sealed vents. Her hallway grew longer at night. One evening, her bathroom mirror fogged over, though no hot water had run for hours. In the condensation, a small handprint, too small for any living child. That night, Eva, buzzed and defiant, grabbed her recorder and stared Lottie down. "Let's break your damn rule." It was 3:33 a.m., not midnight. Close enough, she thought. She stared into Lottie's left eye. The pupil widened, not a dilation, but an opening. Movement swirled within. Then a hand, tiny, pale, pressing from behind the glass, fingertips tapping, begging. Eva heard a muffled cry, like a child underwater. She screamed. Lottie smiled. Sober and shaking, Eva dove into research. In a dusty digital archive, she found a 1932 clipping. Charlotte, Lottie. Driscoll, age 9, disappeared from Milltown Orphanage. Matron Margaret Hale claimed she didn't run. She was taken into the doll. Margaret Hale was later committed. Her hospital sketches showed dolls, hundreds each with hollow eyes and mouths twisted mid-scream. In her final scrawled note, she wrote, "The hollow one comes for the forgotten. We give it children, it gives us silence." Eva raced to Harrow's Antiques, but the shop had vanished, boarded up, windows shattered. She returned home, heart pounding. That's when she found the door. A tiny panel in her living room wall, hidden behind a bookshelf, barely 3 feet high, child-sized, painted over. She pried it open with a screwdriver. Inside was a tunnel. A narrow, stifling crawl space lined with cobwebs and broken porcelain limbs. Dolls, dozens. All different. All frozen in expressions of horror. The air buzzed with whispers. The walls pulsed. Something moved in the dark, breathing, watching. The door slammed shut behind her. Eva scrambled for the exit. Her flashlight flickered. Her foot caught a doll's arm. She fell, and her shadow, long and shivering, brushed Lottie's tiny porcelain fingers. Rule number 3, broken. Lottie's mouth cracked open, too wide. Wider than a doll's should, wider than a human's. A sound like tearing silk. Eva screamed, and somewhere, just beyond the walls, a child giggled. A week later, Ava's podcast auto-published a new episode. There was no intro, no theme music, just a soft, breathy hum, like a child rocking in the dark. Listeners noticed her voice had changed, higher, thinner, as if someone was trying very hard to sound like Eva, but didn't quite understand how humans speak. The cadence was off, like a lullaby played backwards. The story she told wasn't a story at all, just fragments. Once upon a whisper, a shadow stepped too close, and now the mirror sings. Halfway through, the episode glitched, static turned to soft scratching, as if fingernails dragged across wood. Then a new voice came through, small, crisp. Eva's sleeping. I play now. In the background, something thudded, like a heartbeat. The last minute of the episode was silence, until a click and a child's voice whispered, "Lottie's rule. Lottie's game. Say her name. You're not the same." When the screen froze on her video upload, viewers leaned closer, confused. It wasn't Eva in the chair anymore. It was Lottie. Her cracked porcelain hand wore Eva's silver ring. And just before the feed cut out, Lottie looked into the camera, her dark left eye twitching, and whispered, "Tag, you're it."